Hey, Eastern Oregon, thank you for tuning in. And sorry for the awkwardness this morning. We're still trying to figure out some of the technical issues. And my co-host is still en route to the studio. You can ask him about that later. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Hey, this is an opportunity for you to jump in and comment. And Mike Bowen says he's joining us from the recliner, and we appreciate you guys jumping in. This is a really kind of a new thing for me and for us, and never kind of had in mind that we would do a talk show like this. Of course, Kyle has done this quite a bit with Johnny and so on and so forth, but this is new to me. I've kind of been a moderator and helped moderate other people's opinions and kind of extract things from them. But this is a little bit of a different role in the sense that you'll probably hear our opinions from time to time, qualified or not. But just to be really clear that, whatever it is that Kaya and I say doesn't reflect on the news side of EOA Live TV. And but the kind of where this comes from is that Kyle and I we spend time, we both do separate shows, we interact with each other clearly in the office, and there are times when it's like, we really should have this conversation or bring other people into this conversation. And so that's kind of where this comes from. So one of our sponsors to begin with is Marketplace Fresh Foods, and they have a new chef, Russ Gleason, and Russ is with us today, and at least for the next month, every Tuesday and Thursday, Russ is going to come in and talk to us about what is on the menu. And I think Russ is in the kitchen. Can you hear me, Russ?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, so tell us what's going on, Russ. Tell us what do you guys have what you're offering today as far as
Yeah, how you doing, guys? Today we have a chicken Alfredo, which is it's a garlicky, oniony, creamy, buttery sauce with penne pasta and grilled chicken. That's a special today with garlic bread for $8.95. So come on down for lunch. It starts at 11 o'clock. And hope to see you here.
Yeah, and since we're not doing a show tomorrow, what do you have on the menu?
Tomorrow we got I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so we call it the Bada Bing Meatball Parmesan Hero tomorrow. Pork and beef meatballs with the savory, garlicky, tomatoey marinara sauce, melted mozzarella cheese, Parmesan, parsley. There you go. Can't have it any other way. Can't have it any.
So people are not seating there right now, but they can come in and get stuff and grab and go. Is that kind of
right? You get it to go. Just come on in, order it, call up and order it, or just come on in. We'll have it ready for you. 2-3 minutes, you're out the door.
All right. Well, thank you, Russ. And later on this week, we're interviewing Russ on the news roundup. So be sure and watch for that interview. We'll kind of get Russ's backstory. He recently moved here from Las Vegas, and Russ, it's good to have you here in the Valley, and we're looking forward to the good things that you cook for us.
Glad to be here, Brent, and looking forward to it.
All right. Hey, thank you. Thanks a bunch.
Bye-bye.
All righty. Well, that's cool. I heard the door ding, so Kyle should be coming in here any minute. So let's see. I guess there's a couple of things. One is you may or may not know, but we have a weather kid, and Gabe and his family recently moved here from the West Side. He's 16 years old, and if you have not had a chance to check out Gabe, and he's doing on every Friday we drop a weather forecast for the following week. The emphasis, is on the weekend, but he extends that through the following week. And Gabe, I asked Gabe to kind of tell us what's happening here in the weather. Let me see if I can get this up. So then his weather forecast. Sorry, let me see if I can figure this out. Okay, so his weather so Tuesday today, windy day with southeasterly gust 30 to 50 miles an hour, morning temperatures in the 30s, the mix of scattered rain, snow, and ice amounts up to a half an inch, possibly quickly becoming steady, and all rain as temperatures warm to nearly 40 degrees in the afternoon. And then tomorrow, gusty winds will continue into the morning with temperatures starting out in the upper 30s with rain ending mid-morning and then increasing sunshine and decreasing winds with high to low in the 40s. So tomorrow hopefully will be a better day, and this is kind of our live weather cam right here. I don't know if you guys have ever had a chance to take a look at that, but that is EOA at EOAlive.tv. And that is live. I mean, you're seeing it live. It's probably a minute behind. But again, be sure and check that out. And we always appreciate our sponsors that allow us to be able to maintain that weather cam, wherever it might be. All right. So let's see. What else? So we want to be sure and if you have comments or topics that you want to talk about, we want you to be sure and jump in, put those comments in. Eventually, we'll be able to have an opportunity for you to call in and to potentially video call in. But for the most part, we're going to stay away from politics and religion, which there's some pretty hot topics right now in both of those areas. And although this is an opinion show, we're going to talk about things that are local. It doesn't really make sense to talk about things that are outside of our control, don't really matter, don't really have much effect on us in Eastern Oregon. And so that's going to kind of be our emphasis. So hey, Kyle, are you ready to come in?
I am.
Hey, dude.
I just got here. I'm late. That's my fault, everybody. I'm sorry. I have look at this. This is how nervous I was about it. I had 3 alarms set on my phone. Look, not one of them dang things woke me up.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna figure out a solution. I tell you.
Hey, we still made it happen. Where's the chef at?
He's already been done.
He has.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Good. I had to have something to talk about while you weren't here, dude.
I'm sorry, BC. That's 100% my fault.
Yeah.
I get anxious. Like I load my brain down. Like I gotta wake up at this certain time, and then it's hard for me to sleep. And then, yeah, it'll be okay in the future. We'll make it work.
All righty. Well, hey, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
So, hey, those of you that are here that are watching on Facebook, give us a comment and tell us, kind of tell us you're here. Helps us feel like we're not talking to the ether. We want to make this a show where people jump into. So Kyle, talk to them a little bit about where in the world this show came from.
Well, I think I think you've been thinking about it for a while, but I just found out about it last week. I think it was more or less one of those things where BC's probably like, sitting at home, laying in bed, letting the old mind wander, and came up with an idea that we were going to start a show in the mornings where people could basically, ask us questions or send in comments and us talk about them, current events, local events, weather, just stuff that's happening around here. And like BC said earlier, like one of the things that we aren't going to really touch on is politics and religion, because either way, when you hit either of those, you run into a little bit of trouble. But the other thing that everybody that's watching needs to remember as well is that these are our own personal opinions, not the opinions of the station, not the opinions of EOA Live.
Yep. So So I tell you what, let's start with BC and Dodsey. How did you get the nickname Dodsey? And then I'll explain BC here.
Where
Yeah.
did the nickname Dodsey come from? The nickname Dodsey came from about 12 years old. Baseball. I think it was Chris Mallory, actually, Johnny's nephew. Mike Mallory's son works at LeGrand Stereo Music. They just started calling. They added a Y to the end of my name, and it never left. And so everybody's called me Dodsey ever since then.
All right. Well, and it's kind of funny because BC, people don't know this, but I mean, this has been a nickname that I've had. Only a very few people have called me BC over the years. And, probably goes back to when
Thank you, Michelle. Sorry, Brent.
Yeah. But here, let's put that in. 18 swag, yeah. Okay, well, you're here, so it's not too early for you, Michelle. Yeah. So anyhow, so very few people have called me BC, but it's funny. So when John Mallory started doing the show and we started connecting with John called me BC, and it's like, dude, there's only a very few people that have called me BC, and so yeah, so that's kind of been a nickname that people have jumped in with from time to time, and so I guess I don't know how I feel about it. I've never had a nickname. I always thought it would be kind of cool to have one, but I don't know. You kind of earn it, and it's funny.
I love giving people nicknames.
It's funny because I, personally, yeah, I still, for whatever reason, I pronounced your name Dob. I know
there's
your
no
mama.
B's in there at all.
Dob, yeah, I pronounced it, pronounced it Dob, Pam Dobbs for years and years, and so I think when you and I started connecting here at the studio, it was like Dobbsy. It's like, no, it's Dodsey, So
come on, man.
Yeah, but hey, let's back up just a little bit. It's funny, you and I haven't known each other very long. I mean, maybe a year, a little more of a year, yeah, And so when we were trying to figure out, a place for you and Johnny to land, and we were trying to work that out. And I mean, the very first meeting that you and I had, you actually shaved. You wore a button-down shirt. You didn't wear a hat.
No, yeah. I didn't.
Yeah, it was like, but yeah,
it's
but
possible.
like, yeah, but you were like, it was like,
hey,
I
I'm
remember
shaved today. I'm just not shaved with a straight razor.
I remember coming away from that meeting and like thinking like, okay, well, Johnny is a character, which we all know John is a character, but like he's a wild card, dude. I mean,
and then here we sit today starting a new show, and I was 15 minutes late. My goodness. Oh.
Well, that's
and you gotta understand too, BC. I hate being late for stuff.
I know you do.
I am like one of those people. Like you can ask my family members. Like when you're late, it's like and then I'm late, and it drives me nuts.
I know, and I was watching the clock, and I
luckily I just opened my eyes. When have you ever woke up late for something? You have that quick like wake up. You're like crap. Yeah. My deodorant is in my car.
Well, thankfully, you're in the other room.
Well, yeah. No. Yeah. Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, I kind of got for a minute. I had a flashback of you and I sitting in your basement, going, as 12-year-olds, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well.
So what's happening around LeGrand today?
Well, I don't know. I got you and I had talked about maybe talking about stuff, but I don't know. I think maybe just talking about you and I a little bit today. So kind of for the public, we want to talk about relevant local topics right now. And I didn't mention this, but the plan is the show to go about 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so it doesn't need to go very long. and we'll just kind of see how it develops and so on and so forth.
Yes,
But,
there is ice on everything. That's the other thing too. I was basically scraping my window while I was driving. Yes,
I know.
Tom.
When I got out this morning and made my way down the sidewalk, which was really early. I mean, it was like I felt like I was walking
4 hours before I got here.
I was walking like more like an old man than what I normally walk like an old man. It's like little teeny steps, you know, those comedians that make that joke about like, yeah, you have shoes that you bought and you never do cut the little tie between the shoes, you know, because you take little teeny steps. That's kind of how I felt this morning.
Yeah, the little plastic loop that holds the shoes together. You're doing the old 2-foot shuffle.
Yeah. So when was the last time you were up at 8 o'clock?
Me?
Yeah.
I was up at 8 o'clock a couple days ago.
Oh, okay.
No, the only time I ever have problem like waking up is when it's something exciting or like that gets me excited the night before and the anxiety starts going,
Yeah.
and then I crash, and then it's really hard for anything to wake me up the next morning. But it shouldn't be a problem anymore.
Okay. Well, talk about maybe for a minute what you kind of hope that comes out of this show. Kind of.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I really just want to give a platform and a place where people can discuss things that are happening here in Union County, like important events. I don't see any reason why we can't share with each other if there's stuff going on or if there's concerns or if people want to know, say what, when's the Eastern games this week and how can I access them, or what's going on downtown this week for Easter, or what's going on downtown this week for, whatever. And just giving people the opportunity to ask questions and be a part of a community-based show where we can communicate and let each other know, what's happening in Union County.
And I think that helps us. I mean, that's kind of been the thing that has kind of, I mean, when I started La Grande Live several years ago, I didn't really, I worked in television when I was in college and actually did not like it very well because it was just awful and swore I probably would never do that. But it has become this thing that has connected us because we're able to hear each other's stories in a way that we never have been able to before. So, and I think that's the huge benefit is that we get an opportunity, and you and I haven't talked about this much, but I want to highlight the same way that Russ came on for a minute and talked about the menu. I mean, I want to find local stories, local people who can pop on for a few minutes and talk about their business or talk about what they're doing in the community or whatever the case might be. And it just, and it gives people an opportunity to not be edited. I mean, so in other words, they're speaking in their own words. We're hearing the authenticity of their testimonial or whatever it is they're saying, which is unlike some of the other media sources in the area. You only get part of a picture or you don't really understand their motivation. And this is a forum where people can ask questions and dig in. So while we're here, and we'll wrap up here soon, there's a couple of, let's talk about the programming, Kyle, that we have on a regular basis.
Okay.
You do. Yeah. So talk about the sports show first, and so that people are aware of that.
Okay. So basically right now on EOA Live, 3 times a week, I have a sports segment that comes out. And granted, right now things are really slow. Obviously, we don't have a lot of sports going on. But as time progresses, and I had the sports information director at Eastern on the show yesterday, and kind of gave an idea of when stuff's going to start happening up there, and so that show will start filling itself in as sports kind of open back up. And that's 3 days a week, and we release that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5:30. And basically, I just find guests, around the area, coaches, players, and interview them and talk to them about, obviously, right now, more about stuff that's just going on in their life, and they're no particular details about a sport because we don't have any sports going on. But It's fun. It's interactive. There's people that it'll introduce Eastern Oregon to a lot of the athletes that they might not know, especially up at EOU.
Good. And for those of you that might not have put it together, so I brought Kyle on as the program manager and the main sales guy for EOA Live TV. And it's been a long time coming, because in the past, those of you may or may not know, EOA Live doesn't really pay for itself yet. And so it's kind of strange to have a hobby like I do. But I mean, when you have a business that doesn't pay for itself, it's a hobby. And so,
yeah, I agree.
And so because of that, then, our bread and butter, the thing that pays the bills, is the production work that we do. And so, so every time there was a pay job, then EOA Live kind of got put on the side. And so Kyle's, his main focus is developing programming and sales for EOA Live TV. And so then if you have an idea, or if you want to advertise your business on EOA Live TV, then that's Kyle's the one to contact. So the other programming that we have is I do the CHD updates every other week, midday on Tuesdays. We're doing tomorrow night, we're doing a live interview with Dr. Stephen Hunsaker from Grand Ronde Hospital. He's been on the front lines of COVID for months and months, and is in charge of the COVID task force at Grand Ronde Hospital. He's really good at explaining the nuts and bolts of some of those things. And so that's happening. So, and then on Thursdays, Kyle, explain what News Roundup is, and then how those stories are divided out after that.
Okay, so basically on Thursdays we do a recap, essentially, of the week and things that are coming up. We sit down usually on Mondays and we decide what we're going to attack that week. There's generally always a sports segment and always a pet segment. And then the pet segment is basically Blue Mountain Humane Society brings in an animal, they introduce it. It's an animal that they're trying to get adopted. And then we decide what little stories locally we want to attack for that week, and we do a feature on each one of those. We have Bob Kavanaugh and Bree Troutman as the hosts of that show. And once we come up with that list of stuff, Bennett, BC, and I, we all, say what each one of us is gonna attack. Like, okay, I'll do the Cody Bowen interview per se. And then we kind of highlight it on the News Roundup on a Thursday. And then after that, each one of those segments is released by itself onto Eastern Oregon Alive as its own little segment, and it also gives the advertiser another time for people to see their branding and their message. I don't know who I have. Let me think about that, Tom. Let me think about who I got in the Super Bowl. That's a tough one. But EO Alive, the News Roundup is basically like just a little synopsis of anything really important that's happened the week before, or anything that's coming up in the week ahead.
So, and our hope still is that News Roundup or News Roundup Brief will become a daily thing. So we're still trying to figure out a way where we can do a daily news brief for those folks that have an opportunity for people to get information every day. And certainly the weather is a part of that. Current events is a part of that. So, all right. So one more time, mention
blood pressure coming down yet, BC? Slowly.
I think I'm all right.
Okay, so I'll take Kansas City and Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl, by the way. And did you guys know something really funny? This is crazy. The oldest quarterback left in the AFC is Baker Mayfield, and he's only been in the league for 4 years. He's the oldest quarterback left in the AFC.
All right.
Well, these guys are getting me going down here with the football.
I can see, yeah. Okay. Well, hey, talk about our sponsor one more time before we take off.
Marketplace Fresh Food right here next door. So let me tell you guys about this. In the very beginning, I wasn't, sure about their food, but having been working here for over a year right next door, trust me, that new chef they brought in, I'm a food dude. I love food. You can tell. I mean, I love food. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He does. Like, he knows food. He brings me over samples, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, you know what you're doing. They have all kinds of fantastic stuff over there. I don't know what the special is today. What's the special, BC? I was late.
It was Alfredo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We sampled it last week.
Yeah, we did. I think it has chicken in it. Very good.
Fantastic.
Good stuff. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I had friends over from Baker yesterday. I took them there for lunch. Absolutely. Because the food is absolutely fantastic. They had like French dips yesterday. And then the chef sent me home with some pork enchiladas for dinner to sample. And they were fantastic. I had them for dinner last night.
Well, and what happened with the Alfredo last week is that Marco, and if you've not met Marco's the store owner. He brought us over a little sample, and then a little later on, when I had a break, I went and bought the whole meal. So, and I guess while we're here, I just want to plug our small businesses. Rock and Sons is one of our main sponsors on the sports show and on News Roundup and so on and so forth. And
Northwest Furniture and Mattress.
Northwest, and I assure you that when I go looking for furniture, I mean, I'm going to spend money with businesses that spend money with us.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And that's how it works. And so
reciprocation. Absolutely.
That's right. And all of that keeps money in. Yeah, it keeps money in the. Is he commenting?
He said pork enchiladas break alarm clocks. Dang, come on, man.
All righty. Well, hey, Kyle, anything else we need to talk about before we take off?
I don't think so. I'm gonna have hopefully the beginning of next week Goodman on from the high school. Darren Goodman, he's the athletic director, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of steering around where the high school is going to go athletics wise. I think things are going to open up a little bit when it comes to that, which is super exciting. The whole thing with next door with Marketplace, this place is cool, man. Like, if you guys haven't given it a try yet, I recommend it. I mean, it's different. It's not like Eastern Oregon type building or atmosphere. It's more like hip. It really is. And I hate to say it like that, but like in a small town, you get that small town feeling. You get both here. You get the small town feeling, but you also have that cutting edge. You have a chop shop where they'll cut your vegetables. You have a bistro where they have, up to date menu with really good food, actually. And then you have a grocery store here where you can stop in and get your stuff on your way home from work. When it's open to the public, there's a terrace, there's a rooftop terrace, there's the Mountaineer room, there's tons of places to sit. And then not to mention, they got 12 taps right there too. You can fill your growlers, get your beer, do whatever. So Marketplace Fresh Foods, that's the place where you need to check it out if you haven't been there. And if you have been there and it's been in the past and you had a bad experience, give it another try. Trust me.
Well, and I think the thing that, you and I know Marco, we're with him all the time. We see him all the time. The guy works his tail off.
Yeah, he's constantly working.
They do. And here's the thing that's been impressive to me is that in a time of the midst of COVID, when everybody is trying to survive, you know what he does? He goes after a chef from Las Vegas. I mean, so it's not, like the dude is doubling down. I mean, it's like he's not surviving. He is trying to offer wonderful products and figure out how to make the business work locally. And so I just really appreciate that.
And he's just a nice guy. He'll take good care of his people,
That's absolutely right.
That's what it's about.
All righty. Well, Kyle, Awesome.
I feel
So
like I shorthanded the show today being late. They got like 10 minutes less of my beautiful face.
That's all right. I'm going to, sometime I'm just like, it'll come back. It's like, hey, dude, I'm not feeling well this morning or something.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm going to put it on the top of my priority list for it to not happen again.
Yeah. All righty.
I'll get adjusted.
Well, Eastern Oregon, hey, thanks for tuning in. And again, we will be here Thursday morning, 8 a.m. right here. And again, appreciate. And if you didn't catch the weather, it's going to be windy today, continuing.
A little bit icy.
Yeah. Tomorrow afternoon, though, Gabe said it's going to be looking a little better. And be sure and check out the weather forecast. So, All right. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.